In the summer of 1972, Sally taught tennis at Tennis America, a camp where I was part owner, and I asked Sally, "What are you studying at Stanford?" Well, her face beaming, her body animated, her blue eyes shining with enthusiasm and interest, she said, "Astrophysics." This is 1972, okay? Put it in perspective here. I said, "What?" I said, "Is that anything like astronomy?" And she says, "Well, yes, kind of." And she says, "I love physics. Physics explain everything." I said, "Okay, whatever you say." When Sally became the first American woman to fly in space, our nation and world celebrated her accomplishments, and we had a new, exciting role model, a shero. As Sally explained, you can't be what you can't see. You can't be what you can't see. Sally Ride made science cool. She has given young children, especially girls of all cultures, to believe and have passion and purpose.
Sally actually collected stamps most of her life. And then after Sally became the first American to fly in space in 1983, she was honored when countries such as Mali and Guyana issued stamps with her portrait on it. But a United States postage stamp, she would be thrilled beyond belief and just very deeply honored. Sally did many things in her life. She was a physicist. She was an author. Obviously, she was a space pioneer. And she was a passionate advocate for equal and excellent education, including science and math education. And in all of those areas of her life, Sally was a leader. The U.S. Postal Service, the stamp program, recognizes extraordinary and enduring contributions to American society, history, culture, or environment. And when I read that, it just dawned on me that Sally made contributions in all four of those areas, which is pretty remarkable.
A few years ago, we had a gathering of women astronauts at the time of Sally's memorial tree dedication at Johnson Space Center. And as we went around the table, just about every single woman in the astronaut office, current and former, had been personally affected by Sally. Those that were selected concurrently with her praised her for two things. First, including them in all the decisions that came with being the first woman astronaut. All the clothing, the personal hygiene equipment, anything that NASA hadn't dealt with before and really had no clue about. She made sure to get a consensus opinion, not just provide her own. And then second, she did such a superb job during her mission that it wasn't really a question after that if a woman could do the job. It made it easier for the rest of the women in her class to get assigned to flights and for all the women who were subsequently selected to the astronaut program. For those of us who came after her, we all either got to see her speak somewhere or actually meet her in person at some point in our journey to becoming an astronaut. As much as in demand as she was, she always made time to meet with young women who dreamed of becoming astronauts. So today, I am thrilled to be part of the Sally Ride postage stamp dedication, continuing her legacy of inspiring people around the country and indeed around the world. Thank you very much.
The date was June 18th, 1983. The place, Kennedy Space Center. The destination, space, the final frontier. I've always wanted to say that. The world watched as 5 astronauts eagerly made their way to the launch pad of the Space Challenger, Space Shuttle Challenger. Sally Ride was one of those astronauts. With each step towards the space shuttle, Sally was a step closer to making cosmic history. It has been said that trails are blazed one step at a time. No one knows that courage better than Sally Ride. In spite of her pounding heart, in spite of her racing mind, in spite of the gurgling and hissing that made that shuttle take on a life of its own, in spite of the fact that her journey had become the nation's journey, Sally stayed focused, saying, "I just put one foot in front of the other because it would be way too easy to get lost in the moment." Sally Ride's history-making journey has made it easier for young girls to dream of one day being an astronaut, a physicist, an engineer, or a mathematician. But today, girls don't just dream. Because of trailblazers like Sally Ride, they have been empowered to do. Having flown among the stars and become one in the process, Sally Ride left us with one wish for humanity. It was her hope that we would come to understand how best to take care of our planet and how best to protect and preserve it for future generations. I think that this is a great message to leave you with today. The United States Postal Service hopes that the stamp that we are about to dedicate helps raise awareness of her life and the causes that were dear to her heart. To me, this stamp represents caring. Caring about our planet, caring about humanity, and caring about equal access and equal opportunity for all.
We are proud that Sally Ride called UC San Diego home for nearly 2 decades as professor of physics here at UC San Diego. Many people knew Sally as the woman who broke barriers, as a woman who served as a role model to millions of girls, somebody who dedicated her life to science, who dedicated her life to service and to education. She was an astronaut, she was a scientist, she was a writer, she was a teacher, and she was a mentor. She was just about everything you could ever imagine somebody to be. Here at UC San Diego, our campus community knew Sally as a passionate and energetic and caring professor who shared her wisdom and her experience and who encouraged our students. She was dedicated to educating the next generation of innovators, change makers, and risk takers. Sally touched so many lives with her generous and giving nature. She is a hero to people around the world, especially adventurous girls who continue to look up to her today.
So let me just have you.
Back there,